Welcome to Unlearn the Crap TV with your host, Kathy Baldwin. Unlearn the Crap TV is more than just a show. It's a movement towards breaking free from the disempowering structures designed to benefit the few at the expense of the many. It's about education, healing, and unlearning the detrimental beliefs that have been ingrained in society for generations. So now, please welcome the host of Unlearn the Crap TV, Kathy Baldwin.
Welcome to today's episode of Unlearn the Crap and Level Up. Your soul is calling. I am so excited that in this podcast that I have and in the connections that I'm making with people, I meet the most amazing people from all over the world. I'm in Canada in the Eastern time zone, and today we are having a conversation with Bea-Marie from Germany. I don't know what time zone that's in, but I love how collaboration and cooperation and community is getting bigger and bigger. Even when we are having forces that are trying to hold us and return us back hundreds of years ago and isolate us. That cat is out of the bag. We are no longer ever going to go back to an isolated community. We are interconnected, interrelated beings. And so this conversation excites me on so many different levels. Bea-Marie, Unlearn the Crap is about the conditioned responses and automatic programming. It is about the societal shoulds and the memes and the expectations. It is about the conformity that we've been taught that takes us out of alignment with our true, authentic self. It is about the physical component in our bodies that suppressed emotions and traumas turn into inflammation and disease. It is so many different things, and we must release our crap in whatever form it is so that we can level up and bring our true, authentic, beautiful purpose and who we are to the world, because the world is calling and so is our soul. Bea-Marie, what crap did you need to unlearn so that you could level up?
Ooh, I love this question. In a nutshell, and I know we're going to go deeper on this, but in a nutshell, I had to unlearn that no matter what I do, if I do good, if I do bad, if I don't do anything, people will judge. So I needed to step out of that game and just do me and learn to just celebrate me for who I am, and because people will judge no matter what.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. And I cannot wait to go deeper, because before we went on to air and recording, you and I made a pact that we were not going to play on the surface, that you and I were going to challenge each other wherever our crap showed up. And so we are going to have the most amazing conversation, which I know we will, because every time we talk, I love it. But would you, for the sake of those who don't know you, could you introduce yourself, who you are, and who you serve in this world?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. So my name is Bea-Marie Aning. I'm an expansion mentor, peak performance trainer, energy healing practitioner, #1 best-selling author, international speaker, mom of 2 and a fur baby, and I love to do things with my hands. A lot of the times, we are stuck in our heads. We do things with our head and we try to solve problems and we listen, which is all good. We can also listen with our bodies. But what I love to do is I love to build bunk beds. I love to build tree houses. I love to wax floors. Like this stuff just makes me really, really happy and really, really grounded. So this is just a fun fact on the side. But who I serve, who I serve are ambitious women with big dreams who just feel isolated and feel that there's a gap between where they are and where they want to go. Because I've been there. I've always seen the big picture. I've always been blessed with great visions, but there was always this huge gap where I always thought, how am I supposed to do that? I am this much in debt right now, or I have a baby. How am I supposed to travel to New York? How in the world? And I was really blessed to have mentors around me and a really, really good connection to the up there, that everything always went step by step by step. Because most of the time we don't need to know each step towards the big vision, but we need to know the next step. We need to feel into the next step. And I've been practicing this for over 15 years now, and I help women bridge that gap. The gap between their mind and their body, the gap between the science and the woo-woo, between the social norm and the who am I in this world. And I help them not only see their big vision, create even a bigger vision above that. That's what I do.
Okay, you had me so mesmerized that I didn't get all the notes down of the things that I want to dig deeper into what you just said.
Yeah.
But I want to start with where you left off, because I believe that we are in incredible amounts of change. Oof. I believe that that the gap that is being created between our breaking down systems, our governments, our education, our medical, I mean, every one of the, even our financial, I mean, who knew that we were going to go from gold coins to paper money to now digital? I mean, nobody could foresee these amount of incredible changes that are that we're dealing with. Our workplaces are changing, our industries are changing, the way we live, the way we function. The fact that you and I across the world are having a simultaneously conversation here I mean, this is just unforeseen. Well, the Jetsons saw it.
I was going to say, The Simpsons knew it. The Simpsons, if you've watched The Simpsons, the TV show, they have seen stuff. They have created stuff like years ahead. So I'm like, who's creating The Simpsons? Like, they knew. Yeah. They just knew.
Yeah, absolutely. So I believe that it is people like you and me, the coaches, the mentors, the ones who have been to hell and back already, that have the pathway down and say, okay, we got it. We're going to lead the way. And okay, this might be politically charged. Neither one of us are in the USA.
Yep.
But I, as a Canadian, am being deeply emotionally affected by everything that is going on. I'm deeply being affected by the silencing of women's voices in Afghanistan. I'm being deeply affected by legislation that is challenging women's rights, our autonomy, our ability to vote, our ability to make choices. And I'm seeing a lot of videos of Germans screaming, please don't let this happen again.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is it really like in Germany, and especially for women?
Well, up to this point, it's very liberal. Like, German women have more rights over their bodies than American women or women in the East, I think. Like, But the next election will be, I try not to go down that road and try not to let fear guide me, guide my thoughts, guide my feelings. But there is fear because we have a right-wing nationalist party on the rise. When we said never again, more than 70 years ago, we said never again are we going to do this. Are we going to let that happen? And then we have a Christian Democratic Party feeding into that narrative. A Christian Democratic Party that is basically saying the same humiliating things, fascist things, and also things that are highly, highly alarming for women. And there are, they have polls before elections, and it says only 9% of women under 30 would vote for the Christian Democratic Party because their leader just almost in every interview he gives, he says something so degrading about women that I'm wondering how his wife can stand him. And this is not about politics for me. It's about humanity. It's about mutual respect.
Yes.
And that
there human rights.
Yes, there are, it's beyond my understanding how there still can be men who think that they are superior of women just because the church a couple of thousand years ago decided that we need to suppress women so that we can stay in power.
Yes.
And since then, men have clung onto power and have done horrible things. I mean, there are economists and people really woke men who lead billion-dollar companies who say departments or even companies which are run by women perform better. Why? Because people are happier, they're healthier, they're more productive. And even the states, the countries that were run or are run by women are healthy. They are not in economic crisis. Yes, there is a little up and down like everywhere, but it's beyond my understanding. It's just, and that's something that frightens me because I have a really, really expansive mind. My mind can go places but that, it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I had no idea that this was going to be heavy on my heart until it came out in our conversations, because I thought this conversation was going to go somewhere else. But I'm feeling very called to the fact that we are dealing on two separate countries. Canada is dealing with the same thing as what Germany is. And so we have to be united, and we must collaborate and not allow this to happen. But there's a couple of things that I want to bring up. And one of them was you don't want to go into that place of fear. My belief is that fear is an emotion that takes us out of autopilot and says, pay attention. Pay attention. And so when we are being fearful, it's not that we're going to the negative. We are being snapped into the moment. Pay attention. Something is happening. You cannot be on autopilot right now. Yeah. And we cannot be on autopilot right now. We must use our strength. The other thing that I want us to talk about is my belief of the universal laws of polarity and extremes and cause and effect, and the laws of compensation and all these other laws, and the law of rhythm. I believe with every part of my cell that we have been coming to this massive point of no return. I don't know where the straw is that's going to break the proverbial camel's back. I don't know where the line is that we say no more and we stop the insanity, because this extremism into the patriarchy, this extremism into control and manipulation, in profits over people, in the masses feeding the 1% at the expense of the masses, at the disconnect of each of our individuals. Tell me how you feel about this.
Well, first of all, I have to say I totally agree with you on the topic of fear, that fear is a sensor, that it snaps us out. What I meant was this downward spiral. You know, when you go into the fear emotion, and then that fear brings you into panic, and that panic at some point then brings you into this rigorous not moving thing that you cannot move anymore.
Yeah.
And this is, I think this is what is happening right now. I think this is what's happening right now, that we're getting pushed so hard that we are actually going into this not fight mode anymore, you know, but into this retreating, shutting up, shock kind of state. I think this is what's supposed to happen right now. And I'm so glad.
Why do you think it's supposed to happen?
Because then people are not, then people start to obey. When people
that's what you mean. It's being purposely controlled and manipulated to make us bow down and be oppressed.
Yes.
I could not agree with you more. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Because when you are in shock, your brain doesn't think, your body doesn't feel, you're just shut down. And then it's so easy to be manipulated. When you are sent into this fear frequency of, you don't have enough money to feed your kids, you don't know how to pay your rent, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to most people go like, you know, like a deer in front of headlights. They just stop, they just stand, and they don't do anything.
Yeah.
And I see that in a lot of my friends. They're just like, and they stop doing.
Complacency.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
complacency.
Yes, and I'm so glad that there are so many people in Germany still going to the street, you know, rallying and using their social media presence to really bring awareness. The way they do it, you know, we can fight over everything, we can discuss everything, but we need to speak up. And I love it that there are more and more men pointing that out, you know, pointing out the narrative and say, this is not right. This is not right. I'm born by a woman. How can I suppress her?
Yeah.
And I saw there was an interview where the journalist asked if and it wasn't the leader of the Christian Democratic Party, but one of the members, and she said, do you know the show The Handmaid's Tale? And he was like, he clearly knew, but then he said, no, it's kind of what you guys are leading us into. And he was like, no, we're not. Stop. And this is like in a lot of countries, it's this degrading of women, this reducing them to what they're actually for. And you know what we're actually for is to be the bearer of life, to be the gate of souls, of magic to enter this world, to change, to preserve, and to nurture. If we are not here anymore to nurture, but only to produce more life, if we're not allowed to nurture, then this world is going to shit.
Yeah.
Like, we need rain for soil. We need rain for plants to grow. We need nurturing. We need people to be taken care of. Money does not take care of people. Power does not take care of people. That's what we are here for. And I cannot stress this enough, because it starts with every one of us. Every one of us needs to see their own leadership in this. Where can I take the lead?
Yeah.
Where can I lead something? What is my strength? Where am I good at? What can I bring to the table? What can I say? What can I do?
Yeah.
Not everybody has to go onto the street. Not everybody has to, shout into microphones. Not everybody has to be on the forefront. But like you said, there are so many laws, the law of attraction, the law of resonance, the law of blah, 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 blah. I truly believe that we live in a resonant universe, and what I'm sending out is what I'm getting back.
Yep.
If I'm sending out the fear frequency, the frequency of I don't care, the frequency of fuck everybody. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss here, but if I'm sending this out, this is what I'm getting back.
Yep.
But if I'm sending out love, if I'm sending out presence, if I'm sending out a different vibe, because the world is freaking changing and we're on the thresholds of where it should. Like, we see that the systems are crumbling. They are crumbling.
Yeah.
That's why the patriarch is clinging to its power.
Yes.
It is crumbling. So now it's our turn to go in the cracks and shine a light in there and be like, this is it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my goodness. I've got a little pad of paper here. I'm writing notes because the amount of things that you're bringing up, I want to grab every one of them and have a whole separate conversation about all of them. But I want to address this feminine thing, because when we divide up traits, whether they're masculine or feminine, masculine is the logic, the control, the perseverance, the all of these things that are the doing.
Mm-hmm.
That is the implementation. But the feminine is the chaos, the creation, the uncertainty, the building. We are the creators. We are the ones that bring life, but we don't do the implementation of it. And so that whole masculine environment of, once we create, now we need to, bring it forward. And so when we understand that when we suppress the creation, when we try to control rather than embrace the chaotic feeling of creation, because creation is messy. Creation, we have to break things down. It's painful, but that's part of the creation process. Whether we look at it from birthing a baby, which is as messy and as painful as it can possibly get, right?
Yeah.
There's not a lot of pretty about it, even though it's miraculous.
Yeah.
And so when we understand that we must have both, and when we cut off our source of creation, we are creating stagnation. We are creating disease. We are creating all of this just mess.
Yeah. And we need to get away from the separation. We embody the masculine and the feminine energy.
Yes.
Like, we have it inside of us, like you said. But to be a real man, you need to be masculine. You need to be this. You need to be strong. You need to be assertive. You need to be, and they suppress their feminine side. And there are also
That's what they
women.
were taught. That was the crap they were taught.
Yes, but also for women, I think most of my life, I have also lived in my masculine because I learned that I needed to be like a man to
Yep.
be as successful as them, to take
Yep.
the blueprint, the masculine blueprint, put it on. And I remember when I started out as a coach, and I started out in corporates. I was doing presentation coaching and voice coaching for them. And I put on a suit. I don't like suits, but I put on a suit because I thought that this is what I needed to look like so they would accept me. And I mean,
do you remember the shoulder pads in our suits to make us look like we had broad shoulders like a man?
Yeah. Well, I didn't have shoulder pads. I always despised shoulder pads. I always took them out. But back then that was 15 years ago, and I had a beautiful coach, and I was like, oh God, I have this really big gig, and it's this company. They have all over Europe. They have offices, and if I'm doing a good job, then they will send me. But I don't want to wear a suit. I just don't. And she was like, you don't have to. And I was like, yeah, but then they don't take me seriously. And it was this, I don't want to be seen as the woo-woo, the one that doesn't know what she's talking about, the free spirit, the whatever was in my head at that time. I wanted to be taken seriously. I wanted to be, the expert. And I was. But I didn't feel like it in my flower wavy dresses. And then
because of the crap we were taught that says that if you are beautiful, if you are feminine, then you're not smart.
Yes. And so this coach back then, she was like, you know what? You can wear your flowery dresses and then just wear a suit jacket over it. How about that? I was like, okay, but what do I do with my shoes? And she was like, you're going to wear boots. And I was like, okay, I love boots. I just love boots. I'm just going to wear boots and my dress. And I felt so good. Oh. And the funny thing about it, I felt so good. The workshops were amazing. I traveled all over Europe. I went to all different offices. Like they sent me, sometimes they said something like appropriate wear is needed or liked, or we would love. I completely overheard that because I felt so good in my flowy dresses and the suit jacket over it, that when there were pictures taken, they took pictures of me from my waist up, so you could only see the suit jacket. So this is about breaking the norm. This is about breaking paradigms. This is about breaking social norms that we have been living up to. And I had a beautiful conversation earlier today about we're so multifaceted, all of us, even the ones who think I don't have anything special. Every one of us, we have unlearned that we are special. Every one of us is unique. Yeah. And those multifacets that we have, the multi-passions that we all have, they have been basically erased because we needed to fit in boxes to make us more suitable for systems.
Yes. But for systems, not for humanity.
Yes. And that's it. We need to create our own boxes. I'm not just a woman. I'm not just a mother. I'm not just a coach. I'm not just a healer. I am all of this combined. And this is what makes me, me. This was makes my medicine that I bring to the world so powerful. This is what makes everyone so powerful. And that's why every one of us is needed in their pure power, and not just for producing life or for producing money or for producing this. We need to be seen
You
as
have
a whole thing.
Yes, you've taken this conversation exactly where my next point was going to be, because you were talking about feeling overwhelmed and people feeling insignificant. Well, what can I do? How can I tackle these big global things? How can I make these changes that are going to affect the world? And so you just said exactly where I wanted us to go, which is we are moving from the 1% having the control and the power so that the 99% can feed the 1%. That is being shifted down to the power is coming to the 99%. How do we do that? We come into ourselves. We become aligned with who we are. And we bring our unique individual empowerment, our passions, our joys, our unique voice, and we bring that to the world. That's how we make the change. We get out of the game of this control and manipulation, and we heal our traumas. We release our stresses. We become the best versions of ourselves so that our light can no longer be dimmed.
Yes, absolutely. And to be very, very clear, this is a very messy process. But it is also a very logical, structured, and tangible process.
Yeah,
because it's actually really easy, but you have to, and I don't use the phrase have to a lot, but what you have to do is cut out the outside noise. Don't watch TV. For real, please. I get it. You know, sometimes I also binge Netflix because I just need to take my mind off of things. I just need to get distracted.
Yeah.
But cut TV time, cut social media scrolling time. Follow some people that you really love, you know, what their opinions that you love, but don't follow like everybody. Like be really mindful what you put into your body, because you're not just feeding yourself with food, you're also feeding yourself with music. Oh my God. You know, what I listen to, the kind of crap music I listened to as a child, because I didn't know what it meant, you know, but basically it said, hey, let's rape all the women and let's throw money in the air. And, you know, that's the kind of music that I listened to. But this, you're feeding your body with this kind of stuff. And of course, now it's like, oh, she's not cool because she's prohibiting us from, you know, our own choices. No, I'm not. I'm just telling you what you need to get to come to yourself, to come to your essence, to get to where what you, Kathy, just said, you know, to heal the trauma. You need silence. You need to be with yourself. And for the most people, being with yourself is really, really hard.
Yeah. We were taught to distract ourselves. Don't look too closely. Don't know yourself, because these things are purposely designed to keep us disempowered, to be controllable. They know that when the masses, one by one, becomes authentic and aligned and has a voice, we can't be controlled.
Yeah. So, and coming full circle, basically for what you said, you know, in the beginning, that we're connected. This connection all over the world, this is not going to stop. And we need to be connected. We need to get out of the disconnect to other people and disconnect to ourselves. And
Yeah.
I've been there, I have disconnected from myself purposefully because I felt it was too much.
Yeah.
Because I was told that I was too much.
Yep.
So I disconnected from all of this. And that was as early on as I think it was like 12 or 13. And
can we stop right there, because this is really important. This is really important. This has been part of the systematic control and breaking down of us as people, not just women, people.
Yeah.
We were silenced and told, shh, do as you're told. Children should be seen and not heard. And we were slowly pushed down and silenced. It was part of the mass control.
And when you silence yourself, because of course you want to be liked, if you're not liked, then you're an outcast. When you're an outcast, you die. If in medieval times, or even Stone Age, when you were an outcast, you were likely to die because you didn't have the pack, you didn't have the support of the group. So, and that is still in our DNA. That's still in our primal brain. We need to be liked. We need to be loved in order to survive.
Yeah.
But the world is so big, and there are so many tribes. There are so many people. There are so many different packs. You will find your people. But to find your people, you need to find yourself.
Yes, yes.
And I always, for the longest time, I always felt odd. I was a popular girl in school, but I always felt odd because I did not relate to the people. I just knew that if I say certain thing, if I speak like this, and if I look all nice, and if I dress a certain way, and I come to school and I do this and I do that, then I will be liked.
Yeah.
Now I know.
That feels like nails on a blackboard to me. Like it's just, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, but I already see that in my daughter. My daughter is she's a wild child. And I really support her in that. I really support her in having her own opinion. I support her in being loud. I support her in taking up space. But her best friend told her that her best friend's mom does not like her around so much because she is so loud.
Ooh.
And in that moment, my heart broke a little bit. But then my daughter said, but you know what? I don't care. If they don't like me, that's their fault. And I was ecstatic. I was jumping all over the place because to help our kids, boys and girls, to step into their power and be there and take up space without all those freaked up mind games, without that, oh, he's hitting you, that he likes you. No, bullshit.
He's a bully.
He likes you. No, he's being an ass. I'm sorry. That's not about, no. Why do we have so many imbalanced relationships? Because we women have been fed the crap that if a man treats us wrong, that's when they like us.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And then we lose our ability to know our true value. We lose boundaries. We lose our horizon, and knowing what is acceptable, what's not, because my whole life I was confused because of all these rules. I was trying to find myself, but all of this stuff of people treating me badly, but that means that it's all good because, and it just didn't make sense. I want us to come back to one thing that is really important that you touched on, but I want to hammer this one home. Okay.
All right. Let's do it.
Our power is in our decisions.
Yes.
The quality of our decisions is based on the choices we give ourselves. We must open up to choose the choices that are empowering. Because when you were talking about music, when you're talking about clothing, when you're talking about friends, all of these things, when we actually understand that our power, our true ability to create and make things happen and be aligned and be healthy and whole and to bring that healing to the world is in our everyday small, medium, and large decisions.
Yes. And it starts with the little decisions. It starts with, do I go to bed before midnight or after midnight? Do I value my sleep? Do I know how much sleep do I need? Do I have a morning routine? I know morning routine sounds like, oh my God, I have to get up at 5 and then I have to exercise and then I have to do all that. No, a morning routine could just be, I wake up and I stay in my bed for just 5 minutes and feel into my body and love myself and wish myself an amazing day. This could be a morning routine. But
Ooh.
like you said, it starts with the little choices that we make. And those little tiny choices are the ones that over time give you a direction and direct your grand choices.
Yeah.
And every little step that you take, it only needs 1% each day.
Yep.
1% better each day than the person that you were yesterday. That doesn't mean that you have to excel in all areas of your life. Just 1%.
Yeah. That's exactly how a plane autocorrects as it's being blown off of course. A little autocorrect, a little autocorrect. That little bit that pulls us in. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you have been moving, like a plane on a plane radar, they fly and you can see it. They have those little dot lines and you know exactly where it's going. But if you course correct just 1%, in the beginning, you will not notice. In the beginning, you will not see a difference. But over time, all of a sudden, there's this huge gap and the plane is going somewhere completely different. And I know for all of my impatient people out there, I hear you, I feel you. I also want to go snap and everything changes. But for that, our body, the solid matter that we live in is slow. Our brain, our energy, everything that is in between goes really, really fast. So everything that when you feel impatient, give yourself grace because you're getting there. Because you have autocorrected already. You have corrected your course already. So go with it, be patient, and let the solid matter keep up with you.
Yes. I love the way you describe that because we create from the chaos, from the explosion of the masculine and feminine, from all of the things that happen. But creation starts in the energy of our thoughts and our feelings. For it to come into a physical creation does not happen immediate. The energetic does. The energetic happens immediately when we make the decision. When we say, I do at getting married, we are now changing our identity and we are now a married person. That energy has changed. Our decisions has changed. Our identity has changed. But the physicality of what that looks like can only be seen in the rearview mirror.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Decisions are so powerful. When we start making decisions, it means we're taking responsibility for ourselves. We're taking responsibility for what we want. And responsibility is scary. That's why most people on the planet are employed, because they don't want to make big decisions. They want to be told what to do.
Well, we were conditioned to believe that that's the way it was supposed to be. That's what happened in the Industrial Revolution. It was part of the transferring from the individual into the power and control and the systems and the boxes.
Yes.
We've been conditioned to believe that. I don't believe that our heart and our soul believes that.
No, I don't either. That's why more and more people become entrepreneurs. That's why more and more people are just stepping out of the system completely and go, off grid. And but even if you are employed, that's not a bad thing.
No.
The thing about living is about taking responsibility for yourself, for your daily actions, and especially for your thoughts and your choices.
Yes.
Because in the moment, because our choices are just an extension of our thoughts, of what we think, of what we feel, of how we view the world. That's how we make choices through a lens. So if we don't like our lens anymore, that we see the world through, change the lens. Put on something else that suits you better. And then you will also start having different thoughts. You will feel differently. And your outside world will reflect that. Yeah. For the longest time, before I became a coach, I was an actress. And I was in the acting industry for over 25 years. And I truly believed that I was amazing. That my craft, that everything I brought to the table, people on projects reflected that for me. But in between projects, I did not think that I was a good communicator. I did not think that my voice mattered. That at networking events, why should I be there? Because I don't have anything to say. And I kept telling myself that over and over and over again, up to the point that it was hard for me to have a normal, not superficial conversation. To have a conversation about me, about my feelings, a conversation that we're having right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they love to stay on the surface. They love to serve the easy waves.
It's safe.
The ones that, yes, it's safe. You're still loved. You don't polarize. You don't show up too much. You show up a little bit, but not too much. You don't put your foot through the door. You're just like, hi, I'm here, bye. And that's okay too. Everything is okay. But if you want a true, meaningful, and deeply passionate life, you need to be passionate for your life. Yeah. And if you cannot be passionate for your life and for yourself and what you are bringing to the world, you don't need to be a politician or a CEO or whatever. You can work at Gap or you can work at a supermarket. It doesn't really matter what you do to bring glory and amazing things to the table. We are all meant to be here. That's why we are here.
Yes, yes.
So finding ourselves and showing up as ourselves, as the ones that are needed here right now in this moment, this is our job.
We were born to be alive and be us. We weren't born to be plastic or to be replicated or duplicated or replaceable. Yeah. We have a special purpose and gift. And it's not about the job we have. It's who we are and how we show up and what we're bringing to the world. We're almost out of time, but I wanted to come back to one little point, because seriously, Bea-Marie, I could like that point and that point. We could have like at least 10 or 20 different conversations just from this little conversation that we've had right now.
Yeah.
But I wanted to really focus in on the fact that when we go out of alignment, when we show up on the surface, when we do what goes against ourselves, that betrayal, that suppression, that rejection of self creates disease within us. We are at record high mental health. We are at record high depression, stress, burnout. We have incredible amounts of autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
We are sick and we are breaking down. And that is a direct result of us betraying ourselves.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest things that I had to do was look myself in the mirror and take full responsibility for every single time I betrayed myself, every time I self-sacrificed, every time I put others before myself, every time I denied my own existence. I was poisoning myself.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there are beautiful tools out there right now, energetic tools, but also other not woo-woo tools where you can actually, okay, I need to be, if you have heard of human design before, then I'm not a human design expert, but it is good to know something about human design, especially because when you're out of alignment, for me, I know that when I get frustrated. Being frustrated.
You're a manifester.
I'm a generator.
Oh, because that's when I know I'm out of alignment, is frustration too. And I'm a manifester.
Yeah, manifestors and generators have a lot of similarities. But this is like when I know I'm out of alignment. For others, it's anger. You get angry. And that is like, this is the default mechanism that tells you, oh, you're not in alignment. This is not where you are right now. And that helps me shift back and see, okay, where do I let others overstep my boundaries? Where do I self-sabotage? Where do I where do I put others before me or before my needs right now? And so to know those little tiny things, those little tiny tools, is something that I think everybody should have, at least, as an 18th birthday gift, or, a sweet 16 party. You get like a manual saying, hey, those are the things that you can use to really check out, what's working for you and what's not.
But that is the beauty of what you and I do.
Yeah.
Is we help people come back to themselves. Because we all need coaches, we all need mentors, we all need our tribe, we need our people, we need that support system, we need that collaboration. And you do that in so many beautiful ways that I know you believe, like I do, that coaching and mentoring is meant to be a short-term process. It's not meant to be like therapy where you have a therapist for 25 years. It is meant to find yourself and level up. And then go to the next level and find yourself and level up. And that means that we're evolving and we're creating. And I want to thank you so to the deep parts of my heart and soul for this conversation. And I wish we had more time. But Bea-Marie, I know that there are people who have heard you and their hearts have lit up. And I want to say to them, when your heart lights up, that is your language that is saying, yes, this is for me. So for those people who have identified with you and they want to work with you, how do they find you?
So thank you first and foremost for having me, for having this amazing conversation, and for allowing me also to, rant about about our society at the moment. So if you would like to reach out to me, you can do that via my website, www.movingriver.com. There you can also sign up for my newsletter. I send out weekly newsletters. You can sign up for a 30-minute free expansion session. There, I have lots and lots of gifts as well there. But you can also check out my podcast, 52 Weeks of Flow, where I talk about peak performance, flow, but all things that help you elevate and level up in your life. You can also find me on social media, Instagram, it's moving_river. I'm on YouTube, Moving River by Bea-Marie Aning. So if you put in my name or Moving River, this is where you will find me on all platforms.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to encourage every single person who feels the calling to follow their soul and find who they are. If it's me, if it's you, if it's any of the other guests that we have, when you feel your alignment, follow it so that you can unlearn your crap and level up. Bea-Marie, thank you so very much for this time. I'm honored.
Thank you.
This has been Unlearn the Crap TV with your host, Kathy Baldwin. Tune in each week as Kathy challenges you to rethink everything you know about personal empowerment and societal structures. Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network.